chat. I'm joined now by Ada Fumbi, who will be helping me understand how we got here. Ada, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Ibuka?
Very well. So you work in media, and I have had a personal experience about 10 years ago, where I applied to a station, and I ended up hearing that I didn't get the job because I sounded too Nigerian. What is a Nigerian accent, if there's one at all, and where do you think this sort of need to sound non-Nigerian, especially when it's not authentic, comes from?
A Nigerian accent is our indigenous accent. It is what we were born knowing. Like, I don't know how else to explain what a Nigerian accent is, but the need, I feel, to have a different sort of accent or an accent that sounds like from abroad, I think really comes down to colonization and just the idea that having a British accent or having an American accent is deemed as better. So I don't know. I think it's so deep, I will go as far to say self hate, but that's a different conversation.
So you obviously don't sound Nigerian fully. I can hear a bit of an American accent there. Do you get people saying, do you get people saying that you put it up? And have you ever had to sort of tone it down for anything or even play it up even?
100%. So I'm from Canada. I was born and raised in Canada, and I moved to Nigeria almost 2 years ago to work in radio and television. And I get made fun of for my accent all the time. People think I'm lying. People think that I'm putting on an accent. It's funny because when I first got hired in my workplace, I was told to Nigerianify my accent or play up the Nigerian accent. And it really confused me because I know that's why you didn't hire me. You hired me to speak how I speak. So I was kind of confused because I can't fake a Nigerian accent. Like, this is how I talk, you know? So I don't know. It's just really, it's really funny. Like, at this point now, I just laugh it off because it really is not that deep. But I've been bullied for the way I talk.
Fumbi, it's what you said there is very interesting because I know that, like I said, back in the day, there was an emphasis on, especially from the media, for sounding as foreign as you can. But it seems like these days there's a drive to be more Nigerian. Do you think there's been a shift? Maybe music has also affected because even with the musicians, you find out now that the more Nigerian your lingo is, the more you are termed as authentic. That seems to have also sort of moved over to the way people in the media talk or Nigerians in general.
I'm not from Canada. I'm from Nigeria. Over this table, this table that you are shaking today is large, is big, is stable for millions. Anyways, okay, to be very honest with you, I think it has not changed, and that's the honest truth. There's still a lot of all those fake accents in Nigeria. Fine for the music. Music is broad. You can sing in your dialect, and people will understand and all. But when it comes to media, it's still there. It's still there. But for the music, I think sort of sometimes you hear like a Nigerian rapper and you be like, but this guy grew for Oshodi now. Where you get this accent from and all. You, some of them they probably go to a show in Dubai and come back with accent and be like, come on, at Dubai, how you will come back with British accent? So I think it's affecting a lot. It has not changed.
But so outside of music and even the media, I'm sure you run into people on a regular day who are that way. Why is that? Because even with the media, you can have a bit of an argument for it. With music, like you said, there might be a reason, even if it's not valid. But on a day-to-day basis, with a regular conversation, why do you think people have to do that?
To be very honest with you, I think it's just to try to feel like how do I put it? Like they are foreign. Naturally, Nigerians they give respect to foreigners. Even in when it comes to employing people, if you have to employ someone, if someone has like a certificate, a master certificate showing that you are from the abroad, they give you this respect. So Now people now feel that, okay, if they can respect foreign stuff, then they really would not really respect Nigerian stuff. So they now want to probably carry that and put into their tongue. Well, you can now hear an Igbo man, let's say somebody that has never traveled abroad before and wants to talk about something about development. And next thing, you're speaking Fune, and inside the Fune, you'll be hearing development. So it's just like they are just trying to steal from that culture to get more respect. That's what I feel.
Ada, I mean, he said that he thinks it's still the same, but you also said that you have been bullied for having an accent. So do you agree with him that its accents are still important, or you think it's shifting?
I do think accents are still important. At the end of the day, the people that are bullying me, I think it's because they admire my accent, because they wish to acquire my type of accent. And I would go as far as to say this whole accent argument is a socioeconomic issue. Because if your family had enough money or status to be able to ship you abroad to go to school to acquire an accent, like,
If you want
then
to
you
talk
are
to me, talk
of
to
some
me with
sort
your
of
full chest.
status. You
And
understand?
don't be using corner. If you want to talk to me, talk to me with your full chest.
It's not an insult. It just is what
No,
it
it's fine.
is.
I'm joking with you. Yeah, of course.
What do you think of people who have authentic sounding accents but have never traveled?
I think that's good for them. The fact that they're able, like, and you know what's baffling me about this whole accent thing is like, why are we trying to even acquire accents in the first place? Why don't you just speak the way you speak? Because I feel like we're putting levels to the accent thing as if having an accent makes you better. Well, that's not the case. Like, just speak how you speak.
I kind of agree, and I want to put Fumbi now on the hot seat because you said something in there about development or whatever word you use there. There's several dictionaries around the world. There's the English dictionary, there's the American dictionary, there's Australian even. I think there's even a Filipino one because different countries, pronounce words in different ways or even have sentences in different ways. Why is the Nigerian way of speaking not sort of authentic? If an Australian accent is good enough, why is an Igbo accent or a Yoruba accent not good enough?
Okay, so if I get you, why Nigeria is different from others, to be very honest with you, there's no structure in the country, so it's affecting everything. It's affecting a whole lot of stuff. That's why you see, okay, for the British people, they can be in this particular way, the Asians can be in this particular way, and all, but there's no particular structure, and that's why we cannot have that one way. So you tap from here, you tap from there, you tap from here. When you see people speak, somebody can begin to speak like this, and you'll be like, which country accent is this one again? Oh, I never heard this before for my life and all. So at the end of the day, it's just trying to maneuver around, and also there's no proper structure, and that's why it's affecting a lot of stuff from the top to down.
You're a funny guy, so I'm sure you've had situations where you've had to put on an accent for whatever reason. Has that happened, and how often does that happen?
Okay, in Lagos traffic. So I was on video call with my brother one day, and I was talking to him. My phone was on that stuff that holds the phone, that those taxi drivers use. And so I think somebody was about to hit me, or the way the guy just passed me. I don't know where that accent came from. All I heard was, "Are you mad?" My brother said, "Eh? Where that one come from?" So because they laugh, say, wow. I'm foreign now. Are you mad? So I think in that case, Lagos, Lagos traffic can make you mad. So you just have to give them some foreign vibes. So I'm guilty of that in that particular. I can remember that one.
Yeah. And do you think there's a thin line between speaking clearly and having an accent? Because there's people who, in a bid to speak clearly, you start emphasizing certain sort of alphabets. So if you want to say clearly, you now say clearly because you're trying to, sound a certain way. Do you think the line is too thin, or you think it's possible to actually just speak clearly and not have an accent?
Okay, so to be very honest, I think it's thin because now this English of a thing is not our stuff. So The people that taught us this English, if they say it is pronounced in this particular way, you go to Google now and you type a particular word and you listen to the pronunciation, you might want to sound like that. Now, in sounding like that, you are obviously trying to be like that particular person, but that's not how we speak over here. So in trying to get it the proper way, the accent rather comes in with it. So there's a very thin line between the accent and speaking clearly.
Ada, do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree, but I do believe that you can articulate what you mean with an accent, with a Nigerian accent and with a English, British, Yankee accent. I believe you can be able to speak clearly.
Do you think this is going to go away anytime soon?
No.
Why do you think so?
I feel like I mentioned earlier, the self-hate is so deep, and the lack of knowledge as per why we even want to speak like this in the first place is so deep. It will take years in order for us to overcome these things. And there's so many other things that align with, just accent. There's, like he said, structure within the country, preservation of our history, our culture, our languages. Like, there's so many other things that need to happen in order for us to get there. But I don't see the aspiration of accents disappearing anytime soon.
Well, major shout out there to Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who has spent about half her life living in the United States, but still sounds very clear and very Nigerian. Thanks for joining us on the show today. Like I always say, you can follow the conversation on social media. The hashtag to use is Rubbin Minds. I'll see you next week.
Let's go!